Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Alyssa. We're going to be doing a full body Pilates workout. The equipment that I'm going to utilize today is a set of ankle weights. You guys don't have to use any ankle weights if you do not have them. You completely forgo. I just add them and incorporate them for a little extra added spice. You're going to need a set of dumbbells. If you guys don't have a set of dumbbells, you can use wine bottles, cans, any candle holders then as well. And then I'm also going to be utilizing a yoga block. When we're on our backs for our back series, you can, if you guys don't have a yoga block, you're more than welcome to utilize a pillow. And then when we get into some more of the glutes, you guys can always add in a thick book that you might have laying around your home. So those are two options. Other than that, you guys completely forgo also all of this equipment. Whatever feels good for you and however you want to show up for yourselves today. I'm just so happy that you guys are here and practicing Pilates with me today. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start on our backs today. Those feet can be planted down on the ground. I'm going to take my yoga block and I'm going to place it in between my knees. I'm going to roll it on down onto my back. My hands can come out to a nice cactus pose. Just opening up the chest here, feeling grounded. Pressing those knees into those yoga blocks. You can close your eyes if you need to. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale here. Open up the mouth, sigh it on out. Good. Go ahead and take another nice big inhale here. Exhale, letting it on out. Going to the cadence of your own breath here. Opening up that chest, being in tune with that body. How are you feeling on your mat today? Good. Feeling those lungs expand with all that oxygen, and then when you exhale, that belly button goes deeper and deeper into that spine. Go ahead and take 2 more breaths from me here. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale. Exhale, letting it on out. Good. Last and final one. Nice big inhale. Exhale, letting it on out. Beautiful job. We get to blink those eyes open, maybe wiggling those toes, wiggling those fingertips, maybe lifting up the balls of those feet. Good. Just getting some movement in those ankles, maybe rolling out those wrists in one direction as you continue to blink those eyes open, bringing awareness to your mat, bringing more. Good. Maybe rotating the opposite direction then here. From here, you're going to actually go ahead and interlace those fingertips behind those heads. Those thumbs come down the bridge of the neck. Those elbows are going to be nice and wide. You're pressing and squeezing those knees into those yoga blocks. You're going to engage your core as it's in a neutral spine and float those legs up to tabletop position. Shins are going to be parallel to the ground. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale. And then on your exhale, you're going to lift it on up in that nice upper up curl, lifting up those head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale as you slowly lower it back down. Exhale as you lift it on up. Inhale as you slowly lower it back down. Whew, I feel the burn already. Whew, feeling all the shakes, feeling all the burn. Good. And warming up that core here on your mat. Breathe. I'm so glad that you guys are far away because my nails, they are severely chipped. So, and they're white. So it's funny bunny with this sparkly nail polish over top, but I'm so glad that you guys are far away so you guys don't have to judge me, but my toes are freshly done. They're like a nice little pink. Good. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you slowly lower it back down. Lifting it up. And then inhale as you slowly lower it back down. Good. In 8, we're going to go and hold it on up with that nice upper ab curl. In 7, we're going to add on from here. Good. Give me 5, 4, 3. All the shakes on the mat today. A nice little earthquake. And 2. Last one, hold it up here, hold it up here. Can you go ahead and just extend those legs on out to 90? Good, and then begin to bend them back in. Those knees come back over top of those sit bones. Go ahead and send those legs on out, squeeze that yoga block. Good, and then begin to bending those knees back in. Good. Give me 6 more. We're going to add on from here. In 5, if your neck begins to bother you, you're always welcome to lower it back down onto the mat to alleviate any neck strain. In 3, in 2. Otherwise, you can be up and lifted. This next one, holding it here in that nice tabletop position. Good. Now a little tiny squeeze in. So those knees are coming in towards those elbows. Even though those elbows are still nice and wide, you're just giving it a little tiny squeeze up and up. Good. In 4, we're going to add on from here. In 3, you're going to add on. In 2, you're going to hold it on up in that nice upper ab curl. Hold it here. You're going to begin to drop those knees on over to the right hand side. Good. And then when you can't drop it anymore, you press and push everything with that right knee back it on up to tabletop position. You're going to drop those knees on over to the left hand side, just slightly giving it a nice twist, and then press into that yoga block with that left knee coming back center. Go ahead and dropping those knees on over to the right and pressing it on up with that right knee. As you press it on up, that is when your abdominals are really going to begin to fire it on up. Good. Dropping it on over to the right. Pressing it on up with those right knees coming back center. Good. Left side here. Pressing it on up with that left knee. Good. In 4, you're going to hold it on over to the right hand side. In 3. In 2, if your neck bothers you, you're always welcome again to drop it down towards the mat. Last one, otherwise you're up and lifted here in that nice upper ab curl. This next one, you're going to drop it on over to the right hand side. You're going to hold it there. You're going to give me tiny little exhale as you lift it on up, and then inhale as you slowly lower it back down. So you're continuing those nice upper ab curls. Those knees are just dropped on over to the right hand side. Your knees are pressing into that yoga block. Good. Give me 8 more. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale as you drop. Exhale as you press. In 6. We're going to go ahead and press it back on center. Then continuing on to the left-hand side. In 2. This next one, hold it here, hold it here. A little tiny squeeze in. 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 In 4, you come back center. In 3, you come back center. In 2, this next one, go ahead and come back center. Good, pressing it on up with that right knee. Feel all the burn. Dropping those knees on over to the left-hand side, holding it there. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you slowly lower it back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, slowly lower. Good. Continuing those nice upper ab curls. Good, guys. I am shaking too. I am not a robot. I feel the exact same thing that you're feeling. Good. In 4, you're going to hold it there. In 3, in 2, this next one to hold it here. Little tiny squeezes in. 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 In 4, you're going to come back center and you're going to squeeze those knees in towards those chests. In 3, in 2, this next one, pressing it back on up center with that left knee. Good, and now squeezing it in and then coming back on up to tabletop. Good, squeezing it in, lifting it up even higher in that upper ab curl. Squeezing it in. Exhale as you bring it in. Inhale as you come back. Good. In 5. In 4. In 3. Yes, you guys got it. In 2. This next one, hold it here. A little tiny squeeze it in. Little tiny pulses. Little tiny pulses. Belly button scooping in. Rib cage is pulling in. Good. Elbows still nice and wide. Unclench your jaw. Relax your facial expression. Yes, you can. I'm right there with you for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Extend those legs on out to 90. Hold it here. Slowly lower down those legs to 45. Exhale, lifting it back on up. Inhale as you lift it back on up. Exhale as you slowly lower it back down. Good. For 4. For 3. For 2. Yes, you guys got it. I am shaking. Look at that yoga block. Last one. Go ahead and drop those knees down to those chests. Maybe bringing out those arms side to side, removing that yoga block, dropping those knees on over to the right-hand side, feeling that nice twist in that torso. Good. And maybe windshield wipering those legs on over to the left-hand side, feeling that nice stretch. Good. Letting out any lower back tension that you might feel here. Whew. Excellent, excellent work. I think our core is warmed up. Oh, I felt that coming up. Excellent, excellent work, you guys. We're not done with the yoga block. So from here, you're going to place that yoga block underneath that right foot here. Okay. You're going to come back down onto your mat. We got a nice little series here. All right, so you're placing that right foot on top of that yoga block. Those hands can come down by your sides. Good. From here, you're going to go ahead and slowly articulate that pelvic floor, lifting it up vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting up those hips on up to the ceiling. Rib cage is pulling in, belly button is in. Good. And then you're going to begin to articulate, slowly lowering it down vertebrae by vertebrae until you're dropping it down, pressing that pelvic floor down into the mat, looking at this nice big gap between that mat. And then you're going to begin to slowly articulate that pelvic floor up to towards the ceiling or the sky, lifting up those hips. Good. And then slowly coming back down. Those hands can be by your sides. They're reaching forward. Okay. Good. From here, I want 2 more. And then you're going to hold those hips high. We're going to get into some glute work. Good. This last one, you're going to hold those hips on up high. Good. So you're squeezing those glutes. You're lifting up those hips as high as you can. Good. Can you give me tiny little pulses here? Tiny little pulses. Tiny little pulses. Good. You're squeezing those glutes. So if I were to come through your screen and see those glutes being squeezed, and if you wanted a free Starbucks gift card, I should be able to put it in between those cheeks and it would not be able to fall down. Good. I know. What a beautiful visual. In 5, in 4, in 3, 2. You're going to continue this motion. The only thing that changes is that left heel comes up and you continue to pulse it on out. Good. Pulsing it up and up and up and up. Good. In 5, you're going to drop that left heel down and you're going to lift up that right leg to tabletop. In 4, in 3, in 2. This next one, go ahead and drop that left heel, placing and shifting that weight down to that left heel, left foot. You're going to begin to float that right leg up to tabletop. Good. Go ahead and tap the yoga block down. Float that right leg up to tabletop. And then go ahead and tap the yoga block. Lifting it on up. Tapping it down. Lifting it on up. Getting it to those glutes. You should feel that left glute begin to ignite. Good. From here, if you feel like those hips are dropping down, you're always welcome to bring those hands up towards those hips, pressing them on up if you need to, making sure that they're not dropping from one side to the next. Good. Otherwise, those hands can be reaching in front of you. In 4, you're going to hold it on up into a nice tabletop position with that right leg. We're going to add on in 3, 2. This next one, hold it here, hold it here. Now, can you give me tiny little pulses up and down? Tiny little pulses up and down. Good. Tiny little pulses. Tiny little pulses. Good. In 5, you're going to hold that right leg up to tabletop position. You're going to begin to drop those hips all the way back down towards your mat, and then lifting and pressing them back on up with a nice flat back. In 3, 2, this next one, hold it there. Drop it down with a flat back, and then press it on up. Drop it down with a flat back. Press. Drop. Press. Drop. Press. Check in with those right knees with that tabletop position. Good. Give me 5. You're going to hold it on up to that nice tabletop position with those right legs. Those hips are going to be lifted. In 4, 3, 2. This next one, hold it on up here. Hold it on up here. Can you extend that right leg on out to 90? Exteriorly rotating that right knee on the outside of that mat. Good. From here, can you begin to drop down that right leg, coming in line with that left thigh, and then bringing it back on up to 90. Dropping it down to 45. Lifting it back on up to 90. Good. Give me 6 more. Give me 5. Breathe. It's not meant for speed. Give me 4. Give me 3. Give me 2. This next one, hold it here, hold it here. Little tiny pulses, little tiny pulses, little tiny pulses. Good. Now, when we go ahead and drop that right leg down, we're going to thread it underneath those left legs. We're going to go into a curtsy bridge. In 3, 2, last one. So you're going to drop down that right leg. You're going to thread it underneath that left. You're going to drop that right hip down to the right hand side. And then you're going to press everything on up, sending that right leg on up to the ceiling. Threading it underneath, pressing it on up. Threading it underneath, pressing it on up. You guys are almost there. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2. This next one, holding it up at the top here. Hold it. Give me 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Begin to drop it on down. Shake out those glutes. Whew. Just getting a nice little knife in my thigh, or my glute, I should say. Murdering those glutes here onto your mat today. All right, excellent, excellent work. Now from here, we're going to give that lower body a break for just a second. We're going to go ahead and get into some arms, and then we're going to do the left hand side. Okay, so from here, you're going to go ahead and grab those dumbbells. You could be kneeling, you can be standing. All right, so actually, let's go ahead and stand. We're going to stand. All right, so you're standing. Those elbows are going to come out in front of you at a nice 90-degree angle. They're going to be nice in line with those shoulders. You're going to be pressing those hips forward. Good. Roll those shoulders out of that neck. Energy shooting out through the crown of the head. Good. Now, all I need is to give me one right and one left. One right and then one left. Good. One right, one left. Good. Beautiful. Now from here, can you begin to just pressing it on up and then dropping it down? Press it on up so that those arms now are coming in line with those ears. Good. Now I'm beginning to pick up the pace here just a little bit. Good. I love these seesaws. Good. Give me 8. We're going to go into both hands. In 7, and 6, and 5, 4, You guys got it. Breathe. Unclench your jaw. Don't forget to breathe. In 3, 2. This last one, let's go ahead and go into both hands here. So press it up, drop it down. 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 Good. Give me 8 more. 7. You're going to hold it down in front of you. In 6, burning out those shoulders, burning out those biceps. In 5, 4, 3, breathe. In 2. This next one, hold it down right here. Little tiny pulses, little tiny pulses. Good. Having a nice grip. Good. For 10, 9. You're gonna hold it. We're gonna add on from here. We're gonna burn out those arms. Good. You're gonna be like that thing at the car wash that has its hands flying all over the place. Good. In 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold it here. Hold it here. Now, could you bring those elbows out wide a little bit and then bring them back in? So notice how my arms only go out to the side and those weights kind of stay in front of my temples. Good. Only those elbows go out away from the center of the body and then come back in line with those shoulders. Good. For 8. We're going to combine everything together, going into a nice little combo. You have a nice little pulse and then a press out with those elbows. In 4. In 3. Breathe. I know you guys got it. In 2. This next one, let's go into that combo. So little tiny pulse up, bring those elbows out wide. Little tiny pulse up, bring those elbows out wide. Little tiny pulse, bring it out. Little tiny pulse, bring it out. Good. You guys are already probably missing those glutes right about now. Good. Like I said, I don't know if you're going to like me or hate me after this. Good. Give me 5. 4. We're not done. In 3. In 2. Last one. Hold it here. Hold it here. Hold, 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 hold. Now we're going to go ahead and drop it. 1 right. And then 1 left. So you're alternating them. 1 right. And then 1 left. 1 right. 1 left. Beautiful job, you guys. 1 right. 1 left. You guys look good. You guys look strong. Good. It is a mindset. Get out of that head. Good. Don't ever tell yourself that you can't do something. Your body will follow whatever you tell it. Good. Stay in it. For 5, we're going to go into both hands. In 4. In 3. In 2. Let's go ahead and go both hands. So go ahead and drop both them down. They're in line with those shoulders and then bend it back in. Pressing it on out, bending it back in. Good. In 5, we're going to go into a tiny little active recovery. We're going to go into some bicep curls. I know. Give me 4. Give me 3. Give me 2. This next one, you're going to bend it back in. You're going to drop down those elbows down towards those sides. We got some bicep curls, palms facing up towards the ceiling or the sky. You're going to give me 1 right and then 1 left. Good. 1 right, 1 left. Good. Beautiful job, you guys. Give me 8 more of these. We're going to go then into some hammer curls. Good. Giving those shoulders a nice little break from the work that we've been doing. Beautiful. In 4, we're going to go into some hammers. Yes, you can. In 3. In 2. This next one, just flip those palms so that they're facing the center of the body. Go ahead and giving me both arms for that hammer curl and then dropping it down. So you're at that half hammer curl. That half hammer curl is when you bring those weights on up to the shoulders and stop when it's at a 90-degree angle with those elbows. Lifting it on up, dropping it down. Good. A full hammer curl is when you begin to drop those weights down and then begin to lift it back on up to those shoulders with those weights. But right now, I just want that half curl. Good. We're going to go into that full hammer curl in 4, in 3, in 2. This next one, let's go into that full hammer curl, dropping those weights down and then bringing it back on up. Good. Dropping it down, bringing it back on up. Good. Give me 4. Give me 3. We're going to add on in 2. This next one, as you go ahead and brush those hands past those rib cages, good. You're going to begin to step it on back with that right leg, coming into a nice arabesque lunge. That left foot is forward. You're going to begin to step it on in with that right foot. You might need to come up to the top of your mat and then go ahead and press everything out long. Good. Bringing those weights on up and then pressing everything out long. You're just stepping it back with those right legs. Good. Give me 4. We're going to go ahead and get into that left-hand side in 3, in 2. This next one, let's go into that left-hand side. Bring that right foot in, placing that weight down into that right. Step it on back with that left, bringing it in. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. This next one, come on down, placing those feet back down on the ground. You're going to drop those weights down so that those palms are facing each other. You're going to row it on back with those weights up towards those rib cages and release it on out. Good. Rowing it back, releasing it on out. That gaze is not down towards your feet. If you notice, if my gaze is down towards my feet, what does it do? It drops my neck. I want to look in front of me. I want to make sure that everything is in a nice flat line. Pilates is all about the spine work. You're always going to be taller in the morning when you wake up, and you're always going to be shorter before you go to bed. Good. And the reason for that is because of gravity. Gravity is always going to be fighting and pushing down on that spine. That is why you're always shorter. Good. In 5, in 4, you're going to hold it on back. In 3, in 2. This next one, just hold it on back with those weights up towards those rib cages. Good. Just go ahead and press it on back and then bending it back in. Good. That's all I need. I need 10 more, and then we got those glutes on the left-hand side. In 5, in 4, in 3, in 2. This next one, go ahead and bend it back in, releasing it on out, pressing those hips forward, roll out those shoulders, shake it on out. Woo! All right, from here, you can go ahead and drop those weights and make your way down towards your mat. All right, let's drop those weights down towards the ground. We're going to come down towards the mat. Once again, you can have your yoga block now underneath that left foot. All right, from here, you can begin to roll it onto the backs of your mat. All right, from here, those hands can be down by your sides. Those arms and those fingertips are reaching forward. Okay. From here, remember how we started? We were pressing that pelvic floor all the way up towards the ceiling, slowly rolling it up one vertebrae at a time. Good. Lifting up those hips towards the ceiling, and then slowly articulating that spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the floor. We were really pressing that pelvic floor down into the mat, really creating a nice large gap here. And then we were tilting it back on up towards the ceiling, slowly rolling it up one vertebrae at a time. Good. Just warming up that spine. Sometimes it feels good. And I know it's only for me, I have a nice curvature in my back. It's very pretty large, and it's significant. So this feels really, really good for me. But everybody is different. In 3, and 2. This next one right here, you're going to begin to now slowly articulate it on up. vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting up those hips. Good. Once those hips are lifted, you're going to give me a tiny little pulse up and down with those cheeks. Good. Tiny little pulse. You're squeezing those cheeks. Tiny little pulse up and down. Good. Your rib cage is pulling in. That belly button is tucked in towards that spine. You're pulsing it here. Good. Breathe. I need you to breathe. Good. We're continuing this cadence here. The only thing that changes in 4 is that right heel raises on up. In 3, in 2. This next one, hold up that right heel. You still continue to press those hips up and down. Small and controlled movement. It is intention. There is purpose behind it. Good. Pressing it up and up and up and up. In 4, you're going to go ahead and drop down that right heel. This is where we begin to lift up that left leg to tabletop position. In 3, you guys got it. I have faith in you. In 2, this next one, go ahead and drop down that right heel. Can you begin to lift up that left leg up to tabletop? Good. And then begin to tap the yoga block down with that left toe. Lifting it on up here. Good. Dropping it back on down. Good. Beautiful job here. If you guys feel like you want an extra added challenge, you're more than welcome to raise those arms on up towards the ceiling, reaching for the ceiling here. Good. It's just going to add a little bit of an extra added challenge for balance. Otherwise, your hands can be placed down by your sides. Good. Lifting it on up and then tapping the yoga block down. Good. Give me 5. You're going to hold it on up here. In 4. In 3. In 2. Hold it on up here. Can you give me tiny little pulses up and down with that hip? Good. Pressing it up and up and up and up. Good. In 5, we drop those hips down towards the mat and press everything on up. That left leg stays in tabletop. In 4. In 3. In 2. This next one, drop those hips down towards the mat and then begin to press them back on up. Dropping them down, press it on up. Dropping it down, pressing it on up. Drop, lift, drop, lift. Good. Give me 4 more. Give me 3. You're going to hold it on up. In 2. This next one, you're going to hold it on up here, hold it here, hold it here. Little tiny pulses, little tiny pulses. Good. We're going to add on from here. You're going to send that left leg, I should say, left leg into up to 90. Last one here. Hold it on up to 90. Good. A little tiny pulses up and down. Little tiny pulses. Good. For 5. For 4. For 3. For 2. Hold it up here. Hold it up here. Can you drop that left leg down so it's in line with that right thigh? Can you bring it back on up to 90? Whoo! Yes! Feeling all the shakes, guys. I am literally shaking off the chain right now. I don't even know if that makes any sense. Good. 4. Give me 3. Give me 2. This next one, hold it on up to 90. Good. A little tiny pulses, little tiny pulses, little tiny pulses. Good. For 5, we're going to go into those curtsy glute bridges. In 3, hold it on up. Check it with that form. In 2, this next one, can you drop it on down, opening up that hip to the left-hand side? And then can you send that left leg on up to 90? Good. Can you drop it on down, threading that left foot underneath? And then pressing it on up. The yoga block might need to come out of your way just a little bit. In 5, you're going to hold it on up. In 4, in 3, in 2, hold it up right here. Can you give me tiny little pulses? Tiny little pulses. Good. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Slowly come on down. I don't know why I do this to myself. Go ahead and windshield wiper. Tap out that glute. Excellent, excellent work. How do our glutes feel? All right, so you guys are pretty much standing and on your backs for the entire class today. So we're gonna go ahead and flip it on over to all fours to end today's class. So, but you're gonna take that yoga block or ball, or ball. You're gonna take that yoga block or book. You're gonna place it up at the top of your mat, okay? This is the final finisher. We worked those glutes, we annihilated that core, and we also annihilated those glutes. Actually, we did everything today. Everything was all the shakes. All right, yoga block comes up towards the top of your mat. Your hands are on the outside of on the outside of that yoga block. You're in all fours just to begin. So from here, you're gonna tuck those toes. You're gonna lift it on up, embrace that core. You're gonna step it on back to a nice high plank. Your booty is tucked, your gaze is down towards the mat. Good, you're finding strength and stillness. Energy is shooting out through the crown of the head, down through those heels. Breathe. Good. When I count you in, you're gonna bring that right hand over top of that yoga block, and then one left, and you're gonna bring them on back down on the outsides. In 4, in 3, in 2. Let's go ahead and hit it. So go ahead and lift it up, one right and one left. Try not to rock those hips, dropping it down to the left and then to the right. Go ahead and lift it up to the right, to the left, dropping it down to the outside of that yoga block. Whew. Good. Lifting it on up, dropping it down. Good. I need 4 more. You're going to hold it on up in that nice high plank. In 3, in 2. Good. This next one, hold it here, hold it here. Good. In 10, you send it back on up to a nice downward facing dog. In 9, 8, check in with that forearm, pressing it on up into those shoulders, belly tucked in. Give me 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. This next one, go ahead and send those hips back on up. Downward facing dog. Stretching it on out. Good. Now, you're going to ripple it on up to a nice high plank. And you're going to drive that right knee up to that chest. You're going to send it back on up to a downward facing dog. And then you're going to drive that left knee up into that chest. Downward facing dog. In 4. In 3. In 2, you guys got it. I believe in you. This is it. This is the final finisher. Dig deep. Last one, rippling it on up to a nice high plank. Drive that right knee up to that chest. Good. Go ahead and step it on back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and rippling it back on up. Go ahead, drive that left knee up to that chest. And then stepping it on back, downward facing dog. I want 7 more. 7. 6. 5, squeeze. 4, 3, 2, driving that left knee on up. This last one, go ahead, downward facing dog, holding it here. Go ahead and rippling it back on up to that nice high plank. Good, hold it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Last one. Go ahead and drop those knees, bringing them out to the width of the mat. Sending those hips back to a nice child's pose, dropping that pelvic floor down towards the mat. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale. Exhale, dropping it down even further. Good. Good. Maybe walking those hands on over to the right side of your mat. Looking over that right shoulder. Good. You're going to feel that stretch down the left side of that rib cage. Go ahead and walk those hands over top of that yoga block, bringing those hands on the outside to the left, looking over that left hand shoulder, feeling that stretch now down the right hand side here. Excellent, excellent work. Good. From here, maybe come back center. The hands are on the outside of that yoga block. You're gonna lift it on up, coming into all fours. Maybe drop the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, round through that spine. Good. Dropping the gaze one last time up towards the ceiling. And then exhale as you bring it in. Maybe one more for good measure. Inhale, drop the gaze. Exhale, tucking it down in. Good. From here, you're going to give me a nice neutral flat back. Go ahead and bring it down to a nice seated position here. Good. You're in a nice seated position. You're letting that heart rate come down from the work that we've been doing today on our mat. Good. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale here. Grab onto that left wrist, pulling that left wrist on over to the right hand side. You're going to feel that stretch once again. Good. And then go ahead and grab onto that right wrist, pulling that wrist on over to the left hand side, feeling that stretch now down the right side of your body. Good. Go ahead and exhale, letting it on out. You have 2 more breaths now. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale. Exhale, letting everything on out. Last and final one. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale. Palms come together up at the top. Your exhale, bring it down to heart center. Guys, Pilates is a practice. It is not easy by any means, but you guys should be so proud of the work that you did today on the mat. I am certainly proud of you, and I can't wait to see you guys next time on the mat here. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.